Hassan Saleh, representing the very good people of Ado, Ogbadibo, Okpoku Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to also thank the mover of this motion and also to align myself with all the previous speakers because the time has come.
Order,
the time
order.
has come
Honorable
for
Kofi,
us
go back to your
as
seat,
a
please.
house if it means making it personal, for us to begin to give credit to who credit is due. Mr. Speaker, Innocent as a company is one of many, but we are using Innocent industry today as a point of reference because we as a nation cannot continue to say we are encouraging local manufacturing and we are not doing what we are supposed to do. It's like as a government, we are playing the ostrich, where the ostrich puts his head under the sand and the whole boat is outside. Mr. Speaker, between 1965 and 1965,
go back to your seat.
Nobody will touch Toyota with a long spoon. Toyota as a company or as a brand, and all the vehicles that are being manufactured from Japan were seen as, fake. But today, Toyota as a brand is the best product in the world. Even the Americans agree with that. So I believe that if we encourage our local companies, especially those that have worked so hard to see that our country is taken as one of the most serious countries in the world, we should encourage them. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the Automotive Council of Nigeria has certain funds that they are supposed to use to be encouraging people like Innocent. What have they been doing with these funds? And if the fund is not sufficient, what is government doing? So I want to align myself with the mover of this motion and the prayers that these companies should be giving the encouragement by giving, if you don't even give them bailout as it were, do something so that they can be encouraged. Because what is wrong in us as a government, both the federal government, the state government, and even local government using Innocent cars? Mr. Speaker, there's nothing wrong with you sitting on that chair to drive. Your official car should be Innocent. There's nothing wrong with it. We should encourage it because if it's bulletproof, he can also proof it. That is the truth of the matter. And the time has come for us to put heavy import duty on imported luxury cars. If you go to India, Mr. Speaker, you rarely will find a Mercedes on the streets of India. Either they are driving Tata or any of those their products. Import duty on imported cars into India is over 200%. That is the only way you can encourage local manufacturing. So I want to believe that as a house, we must make that conscious effort to encourage local manufacturing. Innocent, Peugeot, Volkswagen, and a host of others. I want to submit by supporting this motion wholeheartedly, and that we carry it and let us begin to see results. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Yusuf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Hong Federal Constituency.
Honorable Prestige.
Honorable
Prestige, go back to your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I want
Prestige, go back to your seat, please.
Thank the mover of this motion. I remember we have talked about an aspect of it the other day. This is very key, Mr. Speaker, because for any country to develop, we must develop our manufacturing sector. And fortunately for us in Nigeria, we have very intelligent people who are also willing to do that. With their little scarce resources, they have started something, and what is left for us to do is just a push from the government. Mr. Speaker, this young man we are talking about, Innocent, started just about 8 years ago. He told us when we visited his factory that he started with only one machine, and he did not start 8 years ago to manufacture cars. He started by assembling motorcycles and some rubber components. This young man had no money of his own. He started with this one machine and was encouraged by the Bank of Industry, and today he is not only assembling, but he is manufacturing vehicles. As my colleagues have said, his vehicles are so beautiful. We drove in one of the buses, very good buses, and fully air-conditioned and very comfortable. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to call on the government of Nigeria to first come up with a policy to ask all or order all its agencies, including the National Assembly, the judiciary, and all other agencies under the executive, to ask from now henceforth to stop importing official vehicles from outside Nigeria, because these companies cannot grow without market. Innocent says they only manufacture based on order because they don't have enough capital to manufacture these cars to keep or to export. So it is really a handicap on their side. Mr. Speaker, not only Innocent, we have the Ibeto in the same Inewi. Ibeto manufactures battery. All the batteries, most of the quality batteries we use in Nigeria today are manufactured by Ibeto. But they are also facing the same problem Innocent is facing, the issue of forex, the issue of power. All these companies, it may interest you, Mr. Speaker, are using generators 24 hours for their manufacturing in all their shifts. In fact, they have refused to connect to the national grid because it is not reliable. But despite that, they are breaking even. But the major problem that is bringing them down to their knees today is the issue of forex. They said what they want from the federal government is just to tell them this is the amount of forex we can get every month so that they can do their planning. But what is happening today is that if they get forex today, they have no guarantee of when they will get again. And manufacturing needs planning. Mr. Speaker, we have the Chikason that manufactures the AZ engine oil. They manufacture a lot of spare parts. You need to see the spare parts they manufacture for vehicles, for motorcycles. So a lot is going on in the industrial sector, but we need to call on the government to, as a matter of urgency, just as the mover of the motion intends, to come out with policies that will ginger these sectors, and to also call on the Bank of Industry to go inward and look at these companies that are really manufacturing or trying to survive and give them money or intervention funds to keep them on their feet. In Lagos, we also have a similar company, the former Volkswagen. You need to see the cars they are assembling, beautiful cars, different type of both luxury, both buses and pickup vehicles they are manufacturing. But yet, the Lagos state government imported the buses on the streets outside, while they have a very big manufacturing company with all the big luxurious buses manufactured there in Lagos. So we need to change our attitudes, and our government must change their attitudes to make sure we patronize these manufacturers.
Thank you very much. Lastly, Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues. Leo Kuelgo, representing the Soko Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I'm from Delta State. Let me first and foremost commend the mover of this motion vis-a-vis the various speakers that have spoken on this subject matter. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, it is very, very sympathetic that this is an issue we've been discussing on a continuous basis. It doesn't bother whether it is Chikasin or wherever. You agree with me clearly that this country, as it stands today, is in a major recession.
And our prayers is that we should not move from this recession into any form of depression. It is important we appreciate that as lawmakers, you cannot give what you don't have. The government today relies on only one source of revenue, which is the foreign exchange that comes from the oil. And no matter what we do today, probably we may be playing the role of the ostrich at the hour of crisis. Ask the government to provide what he or she doesn't have. It becomes a major problem. But I think bringing up this motion in itself has some major advantage. And let me tell you the advantage. It is a continuous call to address the challenges that are facing us, telling the government that you must come out with clear-cut policies that will diversify the economy of this nation. We will not stop till we see something happening. Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to rely on one product, paying continuous lip service to a clear policy that will save all of us. Let everybody appreciate that the only thing we need to do at this particular time is diversify this economy. The opportunities and potentials are here before us. We are blessed with so much mineral resources. Great opportunity for us to even go to the lands. But there are no policies, and there are some very, very wrong constitutional provisions that have almost tied the hands of everybody. So I believe that in as much as important as this motion is, you agree with me also that central bank itself lacks the resources at this particular minute, because a lot of our industries are closing down, except probably we sit under this air condition, we will not appreciate. Our brothers and sisters have turned themselves into some issues. I watched recently a video where people are being buried alive, just trying to extract money from their family. I think it's getting very worse on a continual basis. So I think as a house, very, very important, Mr. Speaker, in line with the motion raised, which I'm 100% in support of, that we must call on our government that please, let's work together to get ourselves out of this woods. Let's work in making sure that we have clear-cut policies that will diversify this economy. Paying lip service to diversification will not take us anywhere. We are heading into the second year. By the third year, campaigns will start. Where are the foundations that we are putting in place? So I support your motion, but very, very sympathetic to it, because I know definitely well that it will be almost impossible to give what we don't have. I pray to God that the price of oil should go to probably 150 naira, but it doesn't solve the problem. So we must talk as parliament and think of how we can diversify this economy if we want to do anything for this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. One of the few things that we have that we can give to this motion is for the House of Representatives to be the lead,
Honorable Dambra,
to take the lead in convoking the stakeholder meeting. We can take that. We can take that lead. And we are best positioned to do that. Because, of course, all over the world, too, no country, even America, practices strict capitalism. That is one of the few things that is wrong with our policies. No country practices strict capitalism. It's either you are in trouble and you are bailed out, or you are given financial assistance. So on that note, I now put the question. Those in support of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me briefly recognize